It's Eric from ATS Web again. I have a tutorial today about how to automatically update your social media sites when you post something in WordPress. So you add a new post and the tool, in this case Zapier, will recognize that, grab it, at least elements of it, and then post it out to your social media sites automatically. So, time saver. Might be easy to forget to post out to other sites, things like that. So this is hopefully something that will be helpful for folks to save some time and potentially fix some issues in their process. So Zapier, for those of you that don't know what this tool is, it's a web-based tool that sort of acts like the go-between between apps, so connecting apps, acting as a conduit or a pipeline between disparate apps. I'm sure you're using tools where they have integrations, right? So you can integrate with other systems. Slack is a good example, or other tools where the point of it is that you can pull in data and information from lots of other systems through those integrations. Well, in some cases, the product teams, they'll focus on their biggest targets in terms of integrations and what makes the most sense to support as a first class integration or a native integration. But then something you'll see more and more is this Zapier tool, and that the company will claim that they integrate with Zapier, and if you do that, then you open the doorway to work with hundreds of different apps. Just sort of a little primer there on what Zapier is, and I think once you get in here and you start looking at it, you may end up finding different uses for it. I have. It's a very powerful tool. The free version lets you have up to 5 workflows, 5 rules. They call them zaps, active at a time. You can create lots of different rules or zaps, but you can only have 5 active at a time, and then you get 100 runs per month of those tasks, and then you can upgrade to the plan where I think you can have 20 zaps and thousands of runs. But to start with, it is a free tool, so for the purpose of this, you'll be able to just use the free version. All right, so let's look at the document here. I will make this document available. I'm not going to read it line for line potentially, but I will make it available so that you guys can refer back to it as a resource. So prerequisites, obviously WordPress site, social media accounts, and a free Zapier account to start. So we're going to go into Zapier, and the way this works is these integrations require you to authenticate to the service itself. So if you haven't already, you'll need to authenticate to your WordPress site and then to your social media sites. So I've already done that, and that step isn't going to be as clear or apparent in here, but I'll call out the fact that you do have to do that. And it's very straightforward. I'm sure you guys have done that before. It's a lot like the sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook authentication procedure, where you just click that option to enable it and authorize it and that sort of thing. So okay, so here we go. So the zap is your trigger and your action. So what is it that I'm looking for as a condition, and then what happens when that condition is found. So in this case, I'm going to say there's a post in WordPress, so my condition is WordPress, and from this triggers section, what is it I want to see? Well, there's lots of different things you can hook into. So again, in this case, we're looking for new post, but here you see there's new comment, there's webhook, lots of different ways to hook into this and use WordPress action as different actions. So again, I'm going to use new post, save and continue. So in this case, if you hadn't authenticated to your site already, this is where it would ask you to do so. I can reuse the one I already have, or I can create a new connection and use that as well. So I've already got my connection. I'll say I can test this. Does it work? Yes. All right, save and continue. So here's, I've said I want it to trigger on new post. What's the status of the post that I'm looking for? Published, and then the post type. Now this is really interesting as well. Here you could potentially be pulling in any type of post, including custom post types. So let's say another zap that I have beyond just posting my new blog post would be I create a new project, and my project is a custom post type, and that post type, I want to treat it separately and differently. So what's nice about that is I can create a zap for how I want my posts to look, and then I can create a completely different zap for how I want my projects to look when they get posted. But essentially it would be the same thing. I can have a zap that's pulling new project data and automatically publishing that out for me. So okay, in this case I'm going to say post. It wants to go fetch some information to use, and what we're going to do here is this is where we actually map in the data fields and how we want them to be pulled and then pushed out on the social media site. So you can view the post, and this will give you all of the relevant information behind it. There's a search here if you're looking for specific information, but this is really sort of a raw dump of everything that's in the WordPress database for this post. And really, it's just intended to show that it did connect and it got the information. So that's your trigger, right? So now you need to say, where does this go once that triggers met, or what action am I taking? You can see I've got my Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Twitter. There are lots of other ones. You can flip through popular apps. I want to post this out to Slack. I've got a Slack channel where my team is working, and I want it to get I want them to be updated when a new post goes live on the blog, so that they're aware. Again, tons of different ways to use this. In this case, I'm saying I want to post this out to Facebook. And what do I want to do? I want to create a page post. Select my page. Again, just like with WordPress, if I hadn't already authenticated to this and connected my Facebook business page, then it would be asking me for that at this point. All right, so here's where you're actually mapping in the information that you pulled from the post in WordPress. No. Yes, you are. Okay. So this is the page that it'll post to, and here's where you can actually format your message. What this does is goes out, and then all of that post data that you saw, this is where it's pulling it from. And it's going to give you the key and the value. And the key here, is just, a lot of them are very self-explanatory and straightforward. There's a link, there's a title, there's a content. Now, when you post out to social media and you're creating a new post, Facebook, Twitter, and even LinkedIn, they all do this preview of the post, right? So it's going to give you your post header if you have one, or your featured image, your title, and then the excerpt, or the first part of the text in there. So you really don't have to duplicate that necessarily. You can just have it pull in and just say, here's the post title, and then the link to the post, like here. Now I also included the excerpt, so that's why this has a little more extra data there. It is down here, but it's also part of an image, I believe. I don't think this is very SEO friendly or search friendly, so if you probably want to put your excerpt in there as well. Based on that, I'm going to go ahead and put my post title as my first item, and then I'm going to hit align and then put my excerpt, and then I'm going to hit align, and then I'm also going to put my link. And so that will sort of match up to what you're seeing here. Well, not the title though. Yeah, maybe I'll take the title out. And this acts just like a text editor, so you can click on these, move them around, add them. You saw I put an enter to put line breaks between them. So there are some other optional fields here that let you, so they've sort of built out like commonly used fields, like maybe I want to post the picture or the link itself. So let's fill these in and see what that looks like. So the picture URL, keep in mind that it wants the path to the image. So as you scroll down through here, you'll see here's the key, here's the data. Some of these don't have data at all. So you have to watch, even though it'll say something on the left and have a key, there's no data behind it, so it's actually not going to map into anything. So in this case, we want the thumbnail, and I just happen to know that it's further down here. There it is, thumbnail link. All right, link URL, pretty straightforward. Link name. So this is the URL of the link, but if you want the link name, you probably would put the post title. If you had a caption or a description, you could do that as well. So again, I did them up here in the message, but you can map in some of this other stuff as well. So let's go ahead and continue, and it's going to give you a little preview of what this looks like, and this is how it'll map in. But of course, keep in mind that Facebook also does some auto formatting on its side. So we can either choose to create and continue, and create and continue literally means it will create this post out on Facebook live. Skip test and continue is it will save all these steps, and next time there's a post, it will perform the steps, but for now, don't post out there. I'm going to create and continue just so you can see what it looks like out on Facebook. So if I come out here and I refresh, so here you see this was the original one from 17 hours, and then this one's from right now. So notice that this one doesn't have the excerpt down here, which is interesting, and I'm not sure why that's the case. Maybe Facebook will pick that up at some point. But here's my excerpt, here's my link, and then there's my picture. So you see how it just basically, and the one below that is one that I created myself manually. I posted that myself. So you can see how this is going to give you a very similar or same result, but doing it automatically. And you would finish, name your Zap. So in this case, I'd say, WP to Facebook, and then whether you're turning it on or off. And I'll say it's on. And then if I come back to my dashboard, you'll see there it is. And I can always come back in, I can turn it on, I can turn it off, I can, see the logging, the history. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff in here. And I know this video is getting a little long, so I'm not going to drag it out. But I encourage you, if this is something that's interesting to you, the steps for doing this for Twitter and LinkedIn are very similar. The only difference with Twitter is obviously be careful. There's a much shorter limit on the amount of text you can post. If you're using an excerpt and stuff like that, it's going to definitely get cut off, and you may end up not getting your link posted properly. So you may need to tweak a little bit on the Twitter one, and then LinkedIn is pretty similar to Facebook. So hope this was helpful. Like I said, I'll post this document for folks to follow. It has a little more detailed instruction on exactly the steps you take and the buttons you click and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to post a comment or get in touch with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I really enjoy making these videos and really just looking for feedback from folks. So, like, subscribe, comment. Please let me know if you're finding these useful, if there's something about the format I can change. So if I'm going to spend the time putting this together, I'd really like to have folks get the most out of them, and any kind of feedback you have would be great. So thanks again for watching. Have a great day.